Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the kitchen. Today we're going to make orange lemon marmalade. And I'm going to do a smaller batch this year. Did it last year, we did 5 pounds of oranges. So this year we're going to measure out a half of 5, which is 2.5. So we'll get our scale and we're going to press, we have to get it on, we're going to go to pounds there. So we're going to get 2.5 pounds on the scale, and it's at 0. We already have the bowl on it. So wait, let's press tear again. Okay, exactly 0. And we're going to use these oranges. This happens to be a mandarin orange that I brought in from lunch one day, and I forgot to eat it. So these are going to go in. And now these are navel oranges, and these are also very good oranges to use. So we're going to look for 2.5 pounds. We want to remove any of the stickers that are on the oranges, because what we need to do is we're going to put this into a large saucepan, fill it with water, and we're going to bring the water to a boil, and then boil the oranges until the orange peel is tender. And we'll test that by inserting the tip of a paring knife into it, and then we'll remove the oranges with tongs, and we're going to put them into a container in the refrigerator with cold water, and it will sit there for 2 days. Okay, so let's see. Now that is 2.6. I might just take a little bit out because I want to do another batch of marmalade. And so this is 2.2. Okay, so that'll be fine, 2.2. And I'm going to put this into a saucepan, cover it with water, and bring it to a boil. Here's our saucepan. It's a large one. I filled the water all the way to the top of the bolts. I'm going to turn it on to high, and we're going to give it to come to a rapid boil, and then we're going to add in the oranges. And I took out the little top from the orange, removed that little thing there and all of the stickers. So I have to wait for that to boil, and then I'm going to put the oranges in. We're going to boil it until the skin is tender enough to put a paring knife into it easily. We've got our water boiling, and here are our oranges. We're going to put those in, and we're going to cook them until the skin is knife tender. I don't know how long that is going to take, so I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes and check it out every 10 minutes. Okay, there, our water is bubbling away. I put the bowl on top to help keep the oranges in. They were kind of just floating on the top, and I wanted them to be a bit more submerged. We're looking for knife tender. So I'm taking, see, look at that. It just goes right in. So that's what we're looking for. That is done. And this was 25 minutes. So I'm going to turn this off, and then we're going to remove that from the hot water. We're going to put it into this container. We're going to fill this container with cold water, and then we let this sit in the refrigerator for 2 days. 2 days, okay? So let me take care of that. Okay, so I've got my tongs. Remember, these are very hot. They've been boiling for 25 minutes. You don't want to pick it out with your hand. And I'm putting it into this large container. Just putting them right in. And then we'll fill this container with cold water to cover, cool everything off, and put it in the refrigerator for 2 days. So this is the type of preparation you need to know ahead of time how long your recipe takes. Not many recipes take 2 days. This one does. Now we're going to fill this with cold water. I'm going to let some of that steam come out before I put the lid on it, and then I'll put it in the refrigerator. So I'm covering this all the way up. I'll let it sit for a little bit, and then I'll put the lid on, and then I'll put this all in the refrigerator. And again, it'll sit in the refrigerator for 2 days. It's been 2 days. Our oranges have been sitting in the water, and there we go. Now we're going to start preparing them for the marmalade. I'm gonna cut off the tip here and the end there. I'm gonna cut it into segments. And so just give me a second. I'm gonna set up the tripod so that way you can see this better. Okay, so I'm gonna remove the top and the bottom. And you'll see how soft and smooth the skin is now. It's been soaking in the water for 2 days. So it's very, very tender. I'm gonna slice right down the middle because I wanna remove that membrane that is in the middle. And I'm gonna slice this. I don't want really thick pieces of the zest, the peel in there. Last year when we did this, I didn't cut it as smoothly and finely. And when you bit into the marmalade and there was a huge hunk of peel, it wasn't texturally appetizing. So I do want to try to make them much smaller and thinner this year. All right, so see that middle membrane right here? We want to remove that. The easiest way, just snip it off with some scissors. All right, so I'm removing this part right here and the center. Okay, so this is nice and clean now. And so I sliced 1/2 into 5. I'm gonna slice the other half into 5. And now we want to slice it really thin. As thin as you can. Now when we made the other type of marmalade, we used the food processor for it. So that made life easier. You really do need a very good sharp knife to get it as thin as I would like. If you're at home and you're making this for yourself, it's up to you. If you don't want it as thin and you want chunky bits of peel in your marmalade, go right ahead. It's all about your own preference and your own taste. But I do prefer a thin slice of peel in the marmalade as opposed to a chunk. So that's why I'm taking the time to cut this so finely. If you prefer to use the paring knife, go right ahead, use the paring knife. Whichever gives you the most control and feels the most comfortable, because you'll be doing this for a little bit. And I've already started some, so let's get these in the bowl. And I'll continue slicing all of these up. Once they're all sliced, we're gonna weigh them. That is how we can figure out how much sugar needs to go into the recipe. So I'm gonna finish cutting all of them and weigh it. And then that amount will be the weight of our sugar as well. Okay. All right, so our oranges are all cut up, and now I need to weigh it to figure out how much sugar we need. So, $36 ounces. So we'll need 36 ounces of sugar. All right, so we gotta get this going because class is gonna start soon. I gotta get this cooking because it's gonna take a couple hours to cook. Great. So 36 ounces of sugar, 36 ounces of, gotta remember that, oranges. All right, we're gonna put them into our saucepan. And then we need to figure out how much water to put. So in our recipe, it says that we need to put 1 2/3 cups of water per 2 pounds. So we're going to have to add right, so I've got our 36 ounces of cut oranges, our 36 ounces of sugar, and I put 3 cups of water in just to be on the safe side. So we're gonna bring that to a boil and then simmer it and cook it until it reaches 222 degrees. And then that's gonna take a while. And then we'll test it by putting a small amount on a plate, that plate in the refrigerator, and making sure it's set.